The Stair House. Before I was born and after my mother just endured a stillborn and a miscarriage a few years apart, my parents were driving south from Pennsylvania to Virginia for a mini vacation. While driving through a country road, my mother looked out the window and gasped and told my father to pull over. On the side of the road was an abandoned house that sat on a hill with about 40 or more abnormally super wide wooden stairs leading up to it. My father asked what was wrong and my mother said, "It's this house. I've dreamt about it over and over again as early as when I was in my teens." My father asked if she was sure, and she explained to him that she would recognize that house anywhere as she had had so many nightmares throughout the years. It was the house. My father, not fully believing her, asked her what happens in her dreams. She replied that there is something evil keeping me from my baby. They leave, and every other time they pass this house on the way south to vacation, my mother would look for it and shudder at the sight. This is where it gets bizarre. When I was about 20 years old, I decided to move about 4 hours south of my hometown. I asked my mother to make the trip with me to help me with the move. On the way, I am driving through this country road when I see something out of the corner of my eye. I slam on the brakes and pull over. My mom looked at me and looked out the window and asked what was wrong. I said, "You're not going to believe this, but see that house right there?" I've had nightmares about a house that looks identical to that one a million times when I was a child and to this day. I told her that I'd recognize those oddly wide and steep stairs from anywhere. My mom's face was white as a ghost and had goosebumps. She asked me what my dreams were about. I told her they were very scary, especially when I was younger. I told her the dreams were the same every time. I was wandering through the creepy house looking for her for what seemed like hours. And then it would get even colder and darker and a horrific being would emerge and tell me that I'd never find my mother and laugh demonically. My mother couldn't speak. We pulled away and she told me her story. We had never once spoken of these dreams with one another before that day, nor had either of us seen that house in real life until those 2 days, 20 years apart. After that, neither of us have either had the dreams again, but still shudder when we drive south and pass the house with the steep, overly wide stairs, which is ironically no longer abandoned. Oh my God, this was such a good one. So I think is in the beginning of this, she said that she had a miscarriage and a stillborn a few years apart. And then she finally had a baby, but she kept having those dreams about like not being able to get to her baby. And this kid kept having dreams about not being able to get to their mom. Like something was keeping them from their mom. So I feel like this kid was trying, I'm saying kid, but this person's older now. This person was trying to get to their mom a few times and that being kept stopping them and they finally got there. And I love that like when they finally both shared their stories and like made the connection and all that stuff, that now the house is no longer abandoned. Like how cool is that?